Hey, what's up? The Bible says that the soul that sins shall die. Yeah, well, that is true. We know that that is true, but yes, I get y'all. You know, so last night, every time I come here and I talk, these dogs outside bark. Y'all know I can't stand dogs, like I can't, like in the literal sense and in the metaphoric sense. But anyway, whatever. We'll try and talk above the whole barking thing. I don't even believe they should be domestic pets because it's like owning a roaring lion, like all day long that's just roaring. Who in the world is able to focus? Anyway, whatever, moving on. So, from what the Lord is showing me, I am very severely pitied by the very people who are just looking at me suffer and struggle like this, as I am busy being pursued by an animal in the United States of America, and I keep on raising it, I keep on complaining that he keeps casting spells on me. He is ambitious. He's exactly like Andrew Tate in the sense that I don't know what's going on. Like in America, I do believe that one of the biggest reasons why this man is so relentless is because the US is under a curse. They're under a spell where they are allowing themselves to let some of the most beastly, menacing animals out in society to roam scot-free. The left in the US apparently, allegedly, are guilty or responsible for letting animals into the street, while the right in the US basically calls it out for what it is, complaining that you don't get to just set criminals free. But the interview by Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson of that animal, Andrew Tate, okay, is basically showing that nobody in the US of A is speaking sense. Nobody is rational right now. Nobody is reasonable. And even those that have got a veil of rationality or reasonableness on them ultimately expose themselves. It is a principality over the country, and what it is currently doing is basically unleashing monsters into the world, never mind just in the USA. It, I believe, is a strategy, frankly, by the devil to just muddy, dirty the planet with some of the worst animals in America, on the earth. And the reason why the devil is just shooting them like arrows into other countries is because after years of being the world's superpower and basically getting your bread buttered on both sides and having your cake and eat it too as America, there is a grand amount of entitlement by Americans to be respected everywhere they go. And they have been given spoon-fed respect so easily across the world, albeit not having earned it in certain respects, that when they happen upon other people who frankly will have nothing to do with them, they're persistent. They don't care. They feel as if though it's just only a matter of time before I finally get what I want. They think it is, brave or just the American way or whatever. I don't know. To basically get your bread buttered on both sides. Everybody's going to respect you no matter what. And when people are like, no, I'm done, Americans are like, no, not with me. I get to have the last say. It's not over till the fat lady sings. They proper have got that mindset. So these Americans that just spread themselves thin all over the earth, coming into the spaces of people that are not from their continent, are properly feeling entitled to things that people, when they say no, are not interested. They feel entitled to things that when people say no, they imagine it's only a matter of time because I'm American and I'm not used to getting a no for an answer. I don't get no. I get respected everywhere I go. I just have to rock up in an environment and basically butter everybody with my accent. They'll realize that I come here in the name of dollars and then I will be respected. So people are just literally doing the most because they're from the US of A. And that's what's happening with me with this animal from the US. He is, I keep saying, I've said this before, he pendulums between a death curse and a love curse. And recently, of late, he has cast a love spell on me. He's literally trying to roofie his way back into my life. He wants me back. And I think he is so disgusting. I find him so gross. He is so detestable to me that I don't even understand how in the world he can reasonably think that I am feasible for him, that I would ever talk to him, even in the slightest. I don't understand it. But now I do. Now I get why he feels this way. Initially I thought he was crazy. I thought he had a psychopathy. But that's just the thing. It's not a psychopathy that he's walking in right now. It is a cultural norm. It's a cultural norm. It's an American problem. It is an issue with Americans. They're entitled, especially over people that come from other continents, and they have been spoon-fed so much all throughout their lives, that whenever other people across the world say no to them, they think it's only a matter of time, that they're passing them shade, that they're playing hard to get. That we're playing hard to get, like everybody else is just playing hard to get. And the only reason that I've come to this conclusion is, frankly, the interview by Candace Owens of Andrew Tate. Look at what that American did in another country, and then he gets interviewed by a conservative conglomerate in America. People who are apparently allegedly supposed to be standing against the rubbish of the left went and interviewed an international pimp, a man that has been the bane of the existence of women for a very long amount of time. All the signs were out there. Everything of him. Andrew Tate basically was a ticking time bomb. When he got busted for what under heaven it is that he did, it was not a surprise to many people, because he was the kind of man that would indeed end up running a human trafficking ring where he is messing, exploitatively so, with the freedoms of women. It was in him. It was inbuilt in him. And so it is no surprise. And then he gets interviewed by Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Goodness gracious, if they had brought him on The View, I would get it, because the left in America is crazy. If they had interviewed him on CNN, since they insist on just running with every random rubbish on the earth, I would get it. But instead, he is out here getting interviewed by Daily Wire. He is out here getting interviewed by Tucker Carlson. And I do not understand. Like, to this day, I still don't get it. But then now I understand why this other dude from California, the one that's wreaking havoc in my life, why he feels as if though it is possible for him to one day come into my life, to a point of using witchcraft over and over and over again, tormenting me with spirits. Do you understand? Every so often trying to push me off a cliff, trying to get me to commit suicide, and then when I don't kill myself, then penduluming right back to a love spell. The reason why this dude feels as if though, look, if you don't die, I guess it's okay, you'll be my lover. The reason why he feels this entitled, this rape mindset, this I'm gonna get it no matter what, no means yes, that mindset is precisely what it is that has been incentivized. That mindset is what it is that has been rewarded in the US of A. And evidence of it in a very big space in mainstream media is in the interview, or the support rather, of Andrew Tate by the conservatives in America, trying to influence, unbeknownst to themselves because they won't study, Americans to favor Andrew Tate. Listen, okay, there is a divide in the US between conservatives and liberals, but when they do the same thing, there is no hope for the whole daggone country. That's what you must understand. The Bible says in the Acts of the Apostles that we as people need to be like the Bereans. We need to be like the Bereans and basically study scripture whenever somebody preaches to us. So if somebody comes to us and says A is equals to B, we have a responsibility to peruse the scriptures to confirm if A is indeed equals to B. So the American population has got a responsibility to grab everything coming from the mainstream media, everything coming from even underground random like reporters or whatever, and verify it, fact check it. That's what's good. But instead, these days they have so taken sides. They're either a Democrat or a liberal, that they have completely taken for Bible, like it's gospel truth, like it is inerrant, for crying out loud. Anything at all, if at all, they have chosen the conservative side that comes out of the mouth of a conservative. Anything that comes out of the mouth of a conservative or a person that basically allegiance to that right side of politics, they just run with it. They just run with it. And Candace Owens has built herself an audience, quite a massive one. So too has Tucker Carlson. And we have loved and respected them all this time. And Americans have dropped the ball in being Berean, basically about being about that fact-checking business. And then one day they pull a rug under our feet. They literally pull a fast one on us, all of us across the world that support them, even from vantage points of being in other countries. And they interview an international pimp. Like, they literally go and grab a Hannibal the Cannibal. They grab a Hannibal Lecter. They grab somebody that is obviously a flagrant menace to society and try to convince people who are not Berean, who don't research, who don't do their studies, basically, who don't go into the background of something and try and figure out what's going on here, and they then try to influence them. They have just proven that we can't trust them. They have just proven the deep state. Not only that, they have also just proven controlled opposition. They have proven it. They have proven that, frankly, the conservatives that we under heaven sometimes imagine are standing for us, or they're the only voice of reason, that there is some one unitary puppet master basically telling them what under heaven in the world to say. And so if they make a decision that conservatives are going to be freaking taboo for the day and interview a pimp, that's what's gonna happen. And then they influence and convince people that don't go and check. They're Berean. All along they've trusted Tucker Carlson. All along they've trusted Candace Owens, and they just run with it, whatever. They change their minds. Literally, if you go to the comments sections of these interviews, you will see how some people are like, look, I never knew who this guy was, but now I've been educated. Now I have been instructed. Now I know better. And I understand that all is not what it seems. No, I'm sorry. In this particular case with Andrew Tate, all is definitely what it seems. It is definitely what the man is a menace. He is a beast. He is a misogynist in the worst way. He is just not fit for a thriving society. He is the worst thing that can ever happen to any ecosystem when he walks into it. Evidenced by all the random rubbish that he has snitched on himself concerning all throughout his basic career. Like, listen up. There are people across the world calling this out for what it is, including some American Christians. There is a dude by the name of What Do You Meme on YouTube, an American Christian that called this rubbish out. There is an African from Nigeria. His name is, I don't know, I think the name of the channel is called A Nigerian Perspective. And he has basically just risen up and said, Candace Owens, no, I'm sorry. No, you don't get to interview an international pimp and convince all of us, where we are still thinking straight, that this is what makes sense under heaven. So I'm grateful that people are calling this for what it is. But even the like, for instance, with the comment section of the Nigerian guy, right? People are like, I was waiting for somebody to finally call this out for what it is, because it's been so quiet. It's been so quiet. After Candace Owens went and interviewed Andrew Tate, it was so damn quiet that I was even starting to get shifted and changed in my mind about Andrew Tate until I watched your short, until I watched your commentary on this settling by the right in America for the rubbish of an obvious criminal that is frankly the bane of women's existence. That is what is good. So the rewarding of Andrew Tate's random rubbish is precisely the reason why it is that there is an American man, currently a rapist, frankly, a murderer. He is the worst of the worst, the scummiest of the scum in any society at all. Why he feels entitled to a woman that keeps saying no. Why, albeit all this distance, why he feels like the day might arrive when I finally say yes. Why he keeps on pendulum in between love curse and death curse, love curse and death curse. Why he feels that the day is literally freaking possible when I will accommodate the man that tried to kill me, literally kiss the man that tried to kill me, lay in bed with an HIV positive man that tried to kill me, make myself the wife of a man that's twice divorced, with some kids he's not even taking care of, with a disease that has tried to kill me with death curses, and then try to bring me into his life with love spells. That the day will arrive when I'm finally like, okay, no, let's have a conversation. Literally like Candace Owens giving Andrew Tate a handshake and preparing to interview him for 3 whole freaking hours. Yeah, this man imagines that just like Candace Owens, the day's going to arrive when being the international pimp that he is, that I will one day sit opposite him in the exact same room without being freaking scared for my life. As a woman, Candace Owens should not feel safe at all in the presence of Andrew Tate. As a woman, Candace Owens should be disgusted. She should consider him detestable. As a woman, especially as a woman, which is why I'm coming hardest at her, more even than I am at Tucker Carlson. She should not be feeling safe in any way in the presence of Andrew Tate. But she's got a guard of supporters around her. She has got a whole battalion, an entourage of human beings to protect her should anything at all go wrong, should any hair fall off, should even Andrew Tate start to manifest the satanic, misogynistic demons that he's got in his body. Somebody's gonna protect Candace Owens. But Candace, who's protecting me? When you enable all of your country and other people that have stood with you all across these countries of ours, who under heaven is going to protect the women that Andrew Tate finally finds himself in the presence of? Who is protecting me from the tantamount of Andrew Tate in this wicked Californian man? Who under heaven is shielding me? Where is my entourage, Candace Owens? Where is the cure for my leprosy now that I have been touched by a wicked, immoral, filthy man? Where is my comfort? Where's my covering? Where, oh America, are the protections that are awarded to every person that is subjugated to the tyranny of your filthy darts thrown out into the world after you have rewarded them for wickedness? Where, oh Candace Owens, is my protection from the Andrew Tate that you're protected from? The Andrew Tate of which would not dare bubble up and manifest in front of you right in that studio and do a typical thing because you are the thing that's helping him go out there and look innocent, albeit being freaking guilty. Why? Oh, Candace Owens, did you do this? precisely because you controlled opposition. I am getting more and more convinced of this conspiracy theory that the right in America, or the right across the world at all, is just controlled opposition. They appear to be standing for that which is still rational and sober in society until one day they go and interview, like I said, an international pimp. I am upset in the worst way. I don't understand why this guy won't take no for an answer, why he keeps on insisting with me. I find him disgusting. He is a pervert. He is wicked. He's immoral. When I look at him, I see an erect penis just looking at me, trying to charge my freaking body. That's what I see. I see a rapist, Candace Owens. But that rapist feels that the day's going to arrive where, just like Andrew Tate, he's going to get interviewed by me. He feels thoroughly that the day's going to arrive when I'm going to finally shake his hand, hug him, embrace him, and call him baby. How in the world anybody at all still looks with a straight face at Andrew Tate in the US of A is beyond me. The left in America went on a whole raucous coming up against Sound of Freedom, that movie about human trafficking. Yeah, and then the right was like, no, go watch it, go watch it, go watch it. We need to expose these celebrities and all of the random rubbish that they're doing out here with human trafficking of children. That's what's good. Yeah, that happened. That thoroughly did happen. But after, literally, like, just shortly after, the right in America stands for that movie, Sound of Freedom. After the left is up in arms about it because celebrities are hiding some stuff, then you go and you interview, like, you seriously go and interview a human trafficker. You go and you grab a human trafficker into sex trafficking in particular. He might be dealing with ladies that are over the age of 18. In a way, that Sound of Freedom is talking about child trafficking, but bottom line is they're in the same damn business. One looks a little bit better than the other, but it's the exact same damn business. And then you interview him after standing for Sound of Freedom. What kind of ambiguity is that? What kind of cognitive dissonance are you putting in your audience? Who, after you stand for Sound of Freedom, you then go and you interview a freaking pimp. I don't get it. I don't get it. Nobody ought get it. And I'm this angry because of the fact that one of the people that you have made entitled OUS of A to get whatever they want, despite being menaces in society, despite being disgusting, despite being brazen, amorphous monsters, wreaking havoc in everybody's life across the earth, is thoroughly feeling entitled to me, keeps on penduluming between love and death curses, and when these things get sent my way, I experience a demonic attack, I experience the fatigue, the exhaustion, I experience a lack of motivation. I am the one here that has to go through the suicide ideation that I must conquer by the Holy Spirit. I'm the one that has to beat my flesh into submission, Candace Owens, not you! Not you! You're not the one under heaven that's having to deal with surviving a pimp in your backyard because they feel entitled to you. The entitlement of which was inspired or injected into your bones, oh Candace Owens, into their bones, by interviews like yours. America, you have made the world of people around you scared to face the next day because you are sending beasts into the world. You are properly, like in Revelation 9, the king of the bottomless pit, Apollyon that has gone on right ahead, or Abaddon, to open up a shaft full of menacing beasts, and you have thrown them into the world through the internet. And if they've got a whole bunch of money, they find themselves in Romania just like Andrew Tate. You have literally thrown animals on the earth to countries that have not had it coming. The poverty of Africa, the sorrow of Africa in and of itself is enough. We've got enough disease on our continent. We have got enough problems right like every single day. And then you bring your pimps to our shores. You bring your exploiters to our shores. You bring your stupid filthy men that have no scruples, no self-respect, they have got absolutely no regard for the fact that not everybody wants an American simply because they can flail some dollars, the currency of which is even flunking right now. And given what it is under heaven it is that they walk in, they feel as if though it's only a matter of time before people can embrace me. I thought that guy was crazy, but it doesn't really qualify as craziness when it's a cultural norm. Does it qualify as craziness or psychopathy or immorality when it's okay in your country? It's like raising a child to be a killer. It's like raising up a child soldier. Can you call that kid an immoral? Can you call that kid aberrant or anomalous if it's the norm in that child's country to, by the age of 7, be holding a rifle, killing people on sight because they belong to some kingpin, trafficking children in order to use these children to murder their enemies? This child soldier ought to be given some kind of mercy because this child soldier was raised in a cantankerous, immoral atmosphere where they fed down its throat the basic feeling of right standing when they do an abominable thing according to other cultures across the world. You are an animalistic kingdom right now, America. That's what's going on. You're like an orangutan swinging on a tree with no morals, no self-respect. You've been setting criminals free. That's what's going on. You've literally been letting criminals go, putting them on the street, some of them of which have committed attempted murder, just like the one that's after me right now. And they feel entitled to doing this thing because they've been raised by a country that's given them entitlement, and thinking that the right in America is standing against this rubbish has just been decimated and cut into a million pieces by the interview of the right in America, or the support, that's what we should rather call it, of Andrew Tate. You have thrown away every ounce of respect I have ever had for America, because I respected a portion of America that was still right in their heads. That is the right. The portion of America that was still standing for what makes sense. A portion of America that was still speaking things that make sense. And then you went and you threw all that out the water. And I'm especially pissed off right now because one of your little animals is in my life. I don't know how many Africans, Europeans, South Americans, Australians are subjugated to the tyranny of the monsters you keep sending out into the world that are entitled. They feel entitled to respect everywhere they go. They feel entitled to getting what they want no matter how much they get rejected. They feel as if though theirs is a penis that cannot rape. Do you understand? They feel as if though theirs is a murder weapon that cannot ever have fingerprints and so therefore cause them to be incarcerated for it. They feel as if though they can never be prosecuted because according to them, getting away with murder is just what they do. 1 minute there is a raucous against them and what they're doing, and tomorrow everybody has voted for them to become a president. Tomorrow they get away with murder scot-free. There are people that have been let go for doing some pretty taboo things in America, and 5 years down the line they're still a millionaire with a yacht in the like a Bahamas or whatever. That is what's happening in America. A whole bunch of people that just get away with a whole lot, with a lot of murder. A lot of murder. I did not expect conservatives in the US to stand with Andrew Tate. I just did not expect that. I am so disappointed, and the thing that has happened over there has confirmed to me that I'm not dealing with a paranoid schizophrenic or some bipolar freak. I'm not dealing with some dude that needs to be taking meds all his life because he's crazy. I'm dealing with a child soldier that has been trained to freaking expect what he wants. He will get it no matter what. He will rape and get away with it. He will do whatever the heck he wants to do because his country has taught him that it's okay. And so far as you have got green, blue, and red for blood, you can get whatever you want from wherever you go. Only flail that accent and those dwindling dollars in people's faces, and ultimately they will do exactly what you want. He wants me high and low, and I used to think he was crazy. Now, I think America is crazy. Your little animal that you set free in prison is properly, vampirically drinking my blood every day, and I have to survive suicide ideation, having to deal with the coldness of the typicality of Africans who neglect each other. I've already got my own cultural issues. And then you went and you brought me some freaking foreign beast that I don't understand. Some freaking foreign beast that has put profanity on the tip of my tongue. Every morning I wake up having to deal with his witchcraft. He is Andrew Tate, a man that gets given amnesty and a second chance to go out there and make more women prostitutes. A man that is going to be sent out there and make more rapists feel entitled to be let go in prison, to let more murderers scot-free, to just roam these streets, to allow all manner and kinds of misdemeanors that are practiced in society by random freaks who have no regard for the law. Rome, never mind your shores. It would be great if you just literally kept them trapped in your freaking borders, America. You keep them, since you don't want anybody coming into your borders. In this particular instance, perfect. You should lock that border in Mexico. You should lock all of those borders around you, since you are so xenophobic and hate everybody coming into your country. Lock them even from people getting out. Because right now, what they're doing is destroying Africans. Right now, what they're doing is destroying the very people that you don't even want to come to your country. We don't even want to come there because we're freaking scared of what under heaven is going to brew in our faces the moment they hear an African accent. The moment they hear anything other than an American accent, they will feel entitled to destroying it. They just feel like they can do whatever under heaven they want to do. Do what thy wilt, for this is the whole of the law. Your Americans over there that are destroying our countries. Enough is enough. This man has been trained to basically expect to get exactly what he wants, because why the heck is he roaming around free after nearly killing a man? And that was the only one that he got busted for, by the way. He's actually laying people in the ground before. He just never got caught. Why is a murderer roaming the streets and now he's trying to kill a woman in Africa? Why? Why is that even happening? Oh yeah, I know why. Because sometimes they even end up getting interviewed by Candace Owens. No. Not by some little buffoon on the left, but by Candace Owens. Thank you very much for throwing a beast in my grill, Candace. Thank you. Thank you. You has got an entourage of protection. You, who is a black woman protected by white people. Thank you for abandoning a black woman to the devices of a black man that is doing a typical black thing that has no protection from no white people, not even black. That which is basically the common statistic of black women. Nobody protects us. Our men are not there. We don't get any help. Whenever it is that we are beleaguered on all sides by wicked anything. We are the single most abandoned demographic on the earth, but you're the exception to the norm, Candace Owens. You're ensconced by white people that have gone and embraced you as their own. So for those reasons, Andrew Tate cannot pounce on you and actually kill you. But guess what he's doing? In the form of a Californian man, he's pouncing on me because I've got a typicality of blackness. I am living in a typical black experience. As a woman, abandoned, neglected, nobody cares, every woman for herself. And so typically, just like a black woman, I'm angry and nobody will listen to me all the way up until I die. And when I die, guess what black people will typically do? They will grovel, moan, groan, grunt, and even jump into my casket on my funeral. That's what black people will do. They will cry, but not before. Not before. I will have lamented when it would have been clear, when they could have intervened, when they could have done something to block my death. Yeah, no, they will cry on the day when I'm finally dead, because that's what black people do. And Candace, you know that that's a thing. Yeah, but like I said, you got yourself ensconced by white folk. So since you are ensconced, you think you can go and interview the bane of the existence of the black community, and then have some other black freaks out there in these streets roam up and down, jump up and down like kangaroos, and feel entitled with their rapey mindset to women that have no protection, as they typically never get protected given that they're black women. Thank you, Candace Owens, for bringing that freak to my shores. And now every day I have to upload videos like this where I'm pissed off like no man's business because I'm trying to get somebody to hear me on the internet to set me free from this like little witch from the US of A in California. Arrest that little bugger again. I don't know what needs to happen, but America, you need to stop sending these animals to all other countries in the world. You're the one that's immoral. You're the one that's falling apart. You're the one that has no scruples. You're the one that's losing every last fiber of rationale. You don't get to bring all that rubbish to Africa, but I guess you've done it. All I can do is cry, moan, lament, and groan until finally somebody does something about the fact that I'm under attack by a monster sent to me by an irresponsible country that keeps on setting criminals free. I'm out.